Hey hello everybody, this is an unscheduled video. It's a follow-up to the earlier one. The previous one got a lot of pushback, so I wanted to explain things that I didn't explain so well before. This isn't going to be like super heavily edited, and it's going to be outside of the usual weekly video, but I wanted to get this out there when the topic is like still being discussed. I missed the third EOC video by like a day, which sucks, but mostly I just want the people who disagreed with me to understand my position better. I was going to put a disclaimer on the first video, but I didn't think it was necessary, but I guess with this sort of discussion on the internet, it is. So first of all, I'd like to ask that you watch the entire video before making any sort of judgment on it, that you give it a fair shot, and I'd also like to ask that you separate me from my arguments. So if you think that I'm dumb and punch kittens in my spare time, you try to understand and criticize my arguments and not me. So let's go over some common responses to the video. That's true, my bad. This isn't me, by the way. This is Zarini. He's a former PPL player for the Knights. His Twitch is in the description if you want to watch some of the best tank plays in the game. Despite the little bit of beefing that goes on in this clip, he's still really, really good. So to establish what's actually going on in this clip, blue team is taking a 4v3. This Furia drops from high ground into mid onto a makoa. The makoa beats the shot. Wouldn't it matter if the Furia had ulted 1 second earlier, so it's kind of a moot point. After the Furia ult, makoa is basically zoning 2 in the backline, taking away the support from the Ashe that his team is 3v1ing. He only commits dash and only commits to this fight when he sees Furia back up into lower shop, away from her team, which is another positioning mistake, so the makoa goes in because he sees a potential kill. Furia gets out of Caut for half a second, which is like a good play, and she gets fully healed up by Saris, who's like a little overtuned right now, but that's not the point. Ashe finally dies in the backline, as Leon and Tiger come off respawn. In this room, makoa is zoning the backline, does 3300 damage to Furia, who ends the fight with 3 bars, which is around 750 HP. Now this makoa made a lot of mistakes, that's not really the point. The point is that with 75% Caut, his best bet, his best option, is to sit back and watch, and he gets punished for going in. With 90% Caut, his best option is to go in and pop off, and he gets punished if he sits back and watches. So which one is healthier for the game, and which one is more fun to play? That's the point. Not like, this makoa missed a shot here, right? It's the general idea behind this clip. And remember what happened last time that DPS could outbox off tanks with like sustain? It was the Victor Vivian pocket meta, right? For the support side of things, the Furia had the option to either not drop onto the makoa, not run away from her team, not spend an ult on a 3v4, or take the fight with the makoa from high ground where she can control when she's in Caut and she can safely LOS the Saris. The Saris could have body blocked for the Furia, or left her to die and not risk the stagger that most likely happened after this clip ends. So I kind of do think that this clip explains my issues with Caut, I just don't think I explained it well enough. Here's another clip. In this clip, red team is all in mid, and blue team is cleaning up the fight. Looking for a kill on the Inara with no cooldowns and pretty much no health, Vora chases, doesn't get the kill. Now there's a nice unintentional body block from the Saris, and the Inara does get out of Caut for a second, but again, rather than point out the mistakes that the Vora player made, the point is that with 75% Caut, his best option is to sit back and watch, and get his punished for going in. With 90% Caut, his best option is to run in and pop off, and he gets punished if he sits back and watches. Which one is healthier for the game, and which one is more fun to play? And it's actually getting hard to find clips for this because people have adjusted. People have gotten punished so many times that they're learning that going in isn't a good play anymore. And I think that sucks. I think that's unhealthy, and I think that's boring.
I just want to get some of these Saris heals! It's so stupid! Where'd you go? No, there's no way. That is so broken!
Fully from right here. Oh, thanks.
Send a beam over. Oh, there's Gajanos up here. Hold up, where's my support?
He used his root, I can leave now. Whee! Oh, my toesies! This is the pride and the pride before the fall. I'm holding Ivy. If you can like pocket Hernando out.
Most of the game is going to have 30 or 60% Caut, which is kind of comparable to what we have now. Is that last bit from 75% to 90% that really matters. Like 25 to 30% and 50 to 60% aren't like super gigantic changes. I also believe that players can learn hard things. And rather than hide things from players, I think this tutorial from Evil Mojo explains the basics pretty well.
Item purchases can drastically change the outcome of just about any battle in the realm, provided you are making the right decisions to counter your opponents. To help you better understand how this process works, let's look at some of the most common items bought and how they affect the flow of the game. When the enemy team just seems to be healing over every bit of damage you can throw at them, Cauterize is going to be your best friend. This item allows basic attacks to apply anti-heal when you hit an opponent, helping your damage become more permanent and set up you or your team for some kills.
I don't think it's complicated. I think this tutorial shows it. I think the tutorial is the main issue with the game's accessibility, not the way the item store is, right? Like, the tutorial doesn't even mention items. So I think you can kind of kill two birds with one stone here. You can improve the tutorial, and you can make the game more accessible at the same time. Yes, it would, but the meta is kind of stale, so I think a lot of people would appreciate a change up, and the idea is that it'll be worth it in the end. I'd also personally rather a game be unbalanced because like a character's stats are too high, than an item's stats are poorly balanced in some way. Characters can be like banned or counterpicked or drafted around. It's really hard to do that with an item. So these graphs were supposed to represent the strength of different options over the course of a game. It's not the other team has record, now Nando has useless. It's more the other team has record now, Nando can't stand on the point with his shield up very well, but he can accomplish his job in other ways. So this was sort of a counterpoint to the argument that like, well, if the other team has record, then Nando just can't do his job. Caut will be good even if you remove supports and nerf Caut to 60%. You'd still buy it, because Caut makes such a big impact in how fast you can kill things, right? Like self-sustain, life rip, they exist. It's just a strong ability. I think the devs, I don't have a source of this, but I remember the devs saying that Caut is the most influential factor on win rate. So it's just strong. It's always going to be mandatory. So I'm going to link a Kami VS video. It's Mega Potion Pip. It's from 2 years ago, and it has 90% Caut in it. The reason that I have a 2-year-old Kami VS video saved is because me and my duo are the Fernando and the Inara. Please don't judge me too hard, this was like 2 years ago. But first of all, I like to give a shout out to today's sponsor, VSAG, All Attack the Objective. Tired of using VAA attack, or even worse, VSO, I'm on the objective, which often takes 2 whole hands to type out, or even worse, using new VGS? Well, with VSAG, All Attack the Objective, you can tell your main tank to go zone in a convenient, sensible, and timely manner. VSAG, I'll attack the objective. Click on the link in the description to learn more and use the code FISHNET at checkout for an extra 10% more likes on your next subtweet. In this video, you see plays like early game existing.
Able to get our ultimate up here. I don't know if we'll want to use it. Oh man, dude. Waiting for that Caut to wear off. Ah, damn. Got the Caut on the Inara. Getting chased back there. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Ooh, fishing it. Got you. Wait, I got him. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, got the Inara. Dude. Still got 3 seconds left on our potion. I can't breathe right now.
Mid-game existing.
Oh, big heals. Not enough to be able to do anything, though. Here, take a heal. Ah, nope. We were thinking about going in there and ulting, but...
Late game existing. Wait, it's 15 minutes into the game. The enemy DPS surely have caught free, and Hard just got healed for 1530 and isn't in any danger. Surely this can't be. I haven't seen anyone use cooldowns and back off when they don't have resources in years. %90 Cauded heals being the difference between an Ando dying or getting a trade, and also being the difference between a Con dying to chicken or not.
Nutters and his plays. Oh, I gotta heal that Androxus. Yes! Get out of the big kill. There's a heal for you guys. We got enough, we got enough, we got enough, we got enough! Oh, so close.
Tanks playing Caut and getting punished because they're stupid and dead.
Oh, I'm out. Oh, the Drogo's ate it. This isn't good. Where are you going, Drogos? Bummer. There's a heal for you.
Tanks getting out of Caut and getting rewarded, and oh boy, if this sort of uncaughted heal doesn't just feel real good.
And that Caut heal was kind of pointless. Caut should be falling off right about there. Ooh, didn't use my reload proc properly, and now we don't have anything. There you go. Wait for it, hold on, hopefully he's got his heal up. He does. We gotta go. Another heal coming in a few seconds, my people. Oh, all uncaughted too. Beautiful job by these tanks staying out of Caut when they need to.
Now, a really common and sensible argument to this is, what if my tanks don't get out of Caut? What if my tanks are bad? It's worth pointing out that tanks, just by using their cooldowns, they do get out of Caut. Like a Fernando will get out of Caut by using shield, Term will use Siphon, and Barrick has shield, Nara has like her wall and DR, and so on. Tanks will get out of Caut just by playing tanks and using their abilities. But if a tank does manage to pretty much never get out of Caut, then yeah, they'll die. You'll only be able to keep them up so much, but I don't think that represents supports very well. I'm stealing from my Dama guide a bit here, but as a support, your goal is to like enable your team, and you do that with damage, healing, and CC. So just reducing the role of the support to heal team isn't really correct. They use healing to enable their team, but their goal is still to enable their team. So even if you can't really keep your main tank alive because they're bad, it's late game, their abilities aren't getting out of Caut, and those are, you know, pretty big ifs, there are 3 other whole members of your team that you can work with. And you still have your damage and your CC. Like if you're a Grover and you're contesting the other team's DPS, you're supporting. If you're a Pip and you hit a big chicken, you're supporting. You can still do your job and carry as a support even if your main tank has a single-digit brain cell count. And I don't think that the alternative to this, that these tanks that never get out of Caut, never leave point, don't use cooldowns well, the outcome that these tanks stay alive, I don't think that's very good or healthy. Again, it's a bit incorrect to reduce supports to heal team, and it's also important that when 90% Caut existed, Rejuve was 30% and it was a super strong item for tanks, so it's not like you'd be healing for nothing, even late game. But let's look at the most common examples, which are Seris and Ying. So Seris is overtuned right now, let's get that out of the way. 1400 healing per second is a lot. Seris' thing has always been that she's easy to play, fun to play, and a really good introduction to supports. Her balance has been kind of tricky. It's hard to make the character not busted at lower levels, but viable at higher levels, and keep her whole simple shtick that she's got going on. Evil Mojo's kind of butchered Seris' niche, but that's another video that's in the works. So let's say that 90% Caut and 30% Rejuve is implemented tomorrow. Seris does 1300 HPS at base, 910 HPS with Caut 1, 520 with Caut 2, 130 with Caut free, and 520 with Caut free and Rejuve free, and 1690 with no Caut and Rejuve free. So looking at these numbers and what they mean, you can pretty much ignore Caut 1 if you want. Caut 2 should be played around by tanks, but doesn't really matter as much for DPS. And Caut free needs to be played around by tanks, but it still kind of helps squishies. And 1300 HPS out of Caut is nice, and then 1690 with Rejuve free out of Caut is nice burst. I think this is reasonable. And it's not counting the fact that Seris is like the rest of her kit, right? She is the most survivable support, her ult has good pick potential, can farm some comps. She's the only support with AoE cleave damage. So even when she's not healing, there's still potential in the rest of her kit. And even then, Seris is one of the lowest skill ceiling supports, and she still has things she can do. For Ying, if you combine all of her abilities, it's an average of 700 HPS. Here's the math for that. Fun fact, Ying, while using every ability, hitting every shot, and while ulting, does the exact same amount of healing as a Seris right click. Ying's niche has previously been the throughput healing without CC, since you don't really want to stack CC ults too hard a lot of the time. And like every argument from Seris applies here, if you do the math, her healing is still fine. Bursting out of Caut is cool, she has fantastic mobility, really good survivability, a great ult, and synonym for good constant hit scan damage. She's fine. And this is the part where you point out 70 HPS, and like, yeah, sure, but that's all under Caut free. And she can burst her healing up to 1300 HPS. And she can burst heal for between 700 to 910 HP. So they were viable and fun in the past, and they would be viable and fun again. To my understanding, this argument is based off the premise that supports would be bad, so since I've shown that that premise is false, then this argument isn't valid. Okay, I can understand this one. This one makes sense. But I would say that it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be fun, and I think 90% Caut is fun. So I just want to summarize my points because some people misinterpreted them, partly because of the title, which I should have seen coming. But I just want 90% Caut back because it's more fun to play with, and it's more fun to play with because it incentivizes fun plays.
I think you touched. I got stunned, I don't have touch.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Sarah says has a touch on right now?
I didn't get healed. It's fine, we can do another fight. Okay.
Hey, hold close, if they push AP.
I have Master 2, I probably have touch.
I don't think you do. I think
I do not.
I have pockets.
I have it. Nope, never mind. Unlucky. We hard won that too. I just didn't get healed that fight.
I'm trying to chase Furia. Furia and Pipper on their windows. I'm just living. I'm okay. Oh!
Bullying is an R right now. I'm blocking her. Oh my god, bro, I need a heal. No! Big fireballs only. Furia low? Oh, I'm gonna die, dude.
Tom is dead. Wanna come for you, Pippa? Wanna heal? Derm's got 3 still.
Nice, beam.
Big beam, smile, outplayed
Down.
smile.
Derek's on high ground.
Yeah.
Thank you for the ult.
Play left here. Derek's 1 HP, holy shit.
Nice job, guys.
Being able to see people through walls to throw beams at them is very cool.
So mad. Barracks pushing offlane. Barracks pretty weak offlane. I'm dead. I got rooted.
And that's it for this one. So stay tuned for the Saturday video, which is me just complaining about execute ults as I get execute ulted. So, bye bye.